So I'm ready to take my Crocs off, place them beside me, and say, "Step in my dojo, son."
He runs around and collects rings.
He collects rings.
Oh yeah, golden rings.
Hey, look what I figured out how to do. And both of his clips were off of the line, so if he falls, he's dead.
We're one podcast in and I'm already likened to Satan.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the first ever episode of Toast. Or
whatever.
Like that, or whatever.
Welcome back to the first ever episode
of Toast.
Thank you for tuning in again.
For the first time. My name's Shane and I am joined by a very, very special individual. He was People Magazine's most handsome man to ever exist.
There's a GQ, actually.
Oh, GQ. He is a fantastic musician and one of the funniest men I've ever met in my life. And I've met two men. Nathan Workman. Round of applause for Nathan Workman.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what are we talking about today? Besides me. Because
well,
let me tell you, I could talk all day about me.
I know, and that's why you're the first ever guest on the first ever podcast. First ever.
I could talk all day.
Perfect. Go ahead. Okay, I'll ask you some questions then, I guess. How you been?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, tired, as usual. I think that's just par for the course these days.
Gotcha.
Being married with a house.
And a job.
A job.
Wish we didn't have to work.
A cat.
Oh, yeah, that adds
Have
to
you.
it. Oh, I mean, that doesn't really, hinder you.
No.
That shouldn't...
It just sucks the energy right out of me.
Oh, I feel like we should say Tim Hortons is not a sponsor.
So thank you for sponsoring us,
So
Tim
thank
Hortons.
you for... we were supposed to start filming at noon. What time is it?
It's
12:40. So funny story. I'm swinging by Tim Hortons to pick up coffee for us on my way over here. And I'm like, I'll just swing through the drive-thru. It's like a small suburban town. It's not even like Toronto or Vancouver or New York. It's not like a super busy place. And the drive-thru took me 20 minutes to get through. I honestly thought somebody died. Like the worker was just like working and died. But
Yeah.
it turns out they were just super slow.
It's Tim Hortons.
Yeah, and you text me. I'm like, I think somebody dies. And your response is, film it.
People love dying people.
So we're right on schedule. Everything's going according to plan so far.
I was thinking about dead people, actually. Like funerals. Like, what's the point of a funeral?
I don't know, man.
It's completely selfish because this person dies. You dress them in. Let's pretend a man dies.
Okay.
I die.
Don't talk like that.
Shane plans my funeral.
Break my heart.
As you would. You dress me in the dopest suit anyone's ever seen, and you all party around my dead body.
When you put it like
You party
that,
so hard, you cry, you eat finger foods, and you drink lemonade. I don't know. Just burn me and never think of me again. Tell jokes at my funeral, please.
Oh, I will. Wait, why am I outliving you? I'm significantly older.
Are you, though?
Yes. I love this little microphone. We can do like ASMR in it.
You want to try?
Hey, welcome to ASMR time. This is me drinking a coffee. It went down the wrong way.
I'll give it a try.
Here.
This is me quoting Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
That actually sounds pretty cool. I like that sound. Oh, mine sounds worse when I do it. I'll just annoy people with that. Yeah, so Nathan, you're a bit of a gamer if I understand correctly.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I have an idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I recall somebody liking to play video. Liking to play? I make
Liking.
no sense when I don't liking this.
A man liking to play video games.
I recall someone playing video games while talking with it. Talking with a friend while playing video
having
games.
commentary over video games.
Yes, yeah. I hear
yes.
that's something you enjoy.
Called Let's Play.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and you're doing Let's Plays.
I am.
With
Me and my very good friend, Brett Banks.
nice. And the channel is
MyTurn. It's called MyTurn Gaming.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been really slow lately because my laptop, without a word of a lie, I recorded probably 16 hours of footage and content. All of it got deleted.
Oh.
So now I gotta wait for that sweet tax return to come in, so I can build a sweet
New content?
Build a sweet PC. That way I never lose anything again, because my Mac's not very reliable.
Yeah.
So it's been slow, but trying to get back into it.
And you actually, I believe you had a dream about this podcast here at one point, and the reason I brought up MyTurn was because I think Brett, who you had mentioned, was also in that dream. Would you like to share it with everyone?
No, but yes. Are you gonna edit anything?
Maybe. Who knows? The world's our oyster.
Okay, so this is Brett.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can show a picture of him.
If you're just listening, he's making his hands in a motion that's like a small.
Oh yeah. Sorry, audio listeners.
Foot long thing that he wants me to edit Brett into.
Yes, Brett is like a man but smaller.
He's normal size.
Anyways, so Shane approached me. He's like, "Hey, I want to start a podcast, and like I want to have you on it." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun."
Recurring guest, like
recurring
co-host / guest.
Yes.
Co-host.
A cohort.
I thought you were gonna say cohort.
You're like Satan, and I'm your little demon.
Perfect. We're one podcast in, and I'm already likened to Satan.
Yes. Anyways, so the day he told me that he wants to do this, I'm like, yes, absolutely. That sounds like something I'd love to do. And then I go home. I have a dinner. I go to the gym. I go to sleep. And I have a dream of podcasting with Shane, but I'm not alone with Shane. Audio listeners and visual watchers. I'm with Brett on this podcast, who, as you can see,
the small man,
like this.
No offense, Brett, if you're listening.
So Brett's with me, and in this dream, I have been the character from Game of Thrones, Jon Snow, for the past 8 years, and Brett has been Dany Targaryen for the past 8 years.
I have to edit that.
And literally in the dream, like I've had the memories of being on set and like doing these things. And then season 8 was there was this big scene between me and Khaleesi, or me and Brett. And then Shane, right when we start the podcast, he's like, "So Nathan, tell me about your sex scene with your lover, Brett." Oh, sorry, I shouldn't hit the table.
That's okay.
Yeah, and then I didn't want to go into explicit details, but Brett told him all sort of dirty things.
Yeah, and
that
wasn't one of you like adamant that it was fake, and the other was like, no, it was real?
I said it was fake. Brett was very adamant on it was real.
Yeah, so I don't know what that reveals about your friendship with Brett, but something.
Real things.
So, despite bringing up video games and us ending up with your Game of Thrones scene there, I did bring it up for another reason. Have you seen the trailer for the new Sonic movie?
I don't even.
Audio listeners, he just cringed. He physically cringed. But no, I bring this up here. I'm going to pull up a picture.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this yet, but so when they were making the Sonic movie, they did the fans like dirty almost. Like the character looks so bad.
It does look awful.
Like it's like a horror movie at this point. You're like, oh, this is terrifying. Here he is, right here. There, that's Sonic. That's the Sonic we know and love. But recently, there was actually a tweet by the director. Let me pull that up. I screenshotted it along with a bunch of other random screenshots. Jeff Fowler went on to say on Twitter, "Thank you for the support and the criticism."
Who's he talking? Oh, okay, that makes sense.
To like the fan base. Like,
yeah, I was like, "Thank you for the support." Who's he talking to? No one.
And the criticism.
There, that's better.
The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. I was actually kind of surprised by this because you expect when they put all this time and effort into the movie, and I would kind of expect like a Hollywood director to be like, no, this is the movie you're getting, you'll like it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like shocked when they're like, yeah, we hear you. You don't like this character. You think it looks like trash. We're gonna fix it. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. And like that's crazy to me. To like, it's like humbling. Like the director was humbled, and I don't know. I'm getting all sentimental about this now, but it's like he was dealt a hand where it was like, ooh, audience don't like this. You can either push it and be like, no, you'll like it. We're just going to make it happen and try to make money off it anyway. Or we're going to try to make it right for for the fans. Like, I'm not a massive Sonic fan, but I did grow up with Sega Genesis, and that was like my favorite game. You know, you put like the one cartridge into the Knuckles adapter cartridge, and it was like so cool. That was that was the life back then. But it's just neat to see like a Hollywood director doing that.
Well, how about we reenact like the executive meeting? You be the director, and I'll be an executive from Paramount.
All right. Is this before I've changed my mind?
This is the pitch of Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
All right. So hear me out on this. There's a game.
You didn't knock.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought that
I said I'm an executive, Shane. I'll let you restart this if you want.
I thought I was a like.
I said restart.
Okay.
Yes, hello.
Hello. It's Please don't kill me. It's me, director, who might be amazing.
Let's cut the brass tacks. Tell me what's going on. What do you want to make?
I want to make a beloved children's game
Will it
from
make
the
money?
early '90s. Yes,
Mario was already
now.
a movie.
Yeah, but that we don't talk about that. That was Sonic.
Terrible.
Sonic. He's a little blue hedgehog. He's like a little blue anthropomorphic hedgehog. He runs around and collects rings.
He collects rings.
Oh yeah, golden rings.
Yeah.
Like they're worth a lot. Yeah. So
how's this gonna make me golden?
Well,
rings?
you see, when these kids were young in the '90s, they didn't have money and they loved this character.
Okay, is
But
Fortnite
now-
is Fortnite in this movie?
No.
Does anyone dab?
No.
Does anyone floss?
Hopefully not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what. Sonic. What's your name?
my-
Doesn't matter.
okay.
Make him furry and make him do the floss. Go make me money. No
That
more.
one- okay.
Out.
Yep. We'll go do it.
That's probably how it
Okay.
went.
And now we're back to we're back to the scene where he's talking to a different exec and about how he needs to change the character.
Yes, hello.
Excuse me, sir.
You again.
Oh gosh, you're the same exec.
I mean, yes, my colleague told me about you.
Yes.
How's the Mario movie coming along?
Great. The fans aren't too happy, so
Why?
we're just gonna change the whole thing 3 months before launch. Because we made the character look like trash.
How much money will this cost me?
None.
Are people happy?
Sure.
I don't care. Make me money. I feel like the line is
execs-
just make me money.
Your executives are so evil. I was expecting to go in and be like the director and be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm making a movie," and you'd be like, "Yeah, okay." But no, like it's just like cutthroat.
Do you think
welcome to the world of business?
Do you think Hollywood executives are? Yeah, I'm really for the people.
I don't know. I've never met one. If you're a Hollywood executive and watching this for some stupid reason, hit me up. Give me a call. We'll talk. I'll get us coffee. It'll take like an extra 20 minutes because the drive-through time somebody died. But
I'm not saying all, but I imagine there's very
probably-
many cases because look at all the hot trash that was made before.
I feel like there's like a couple. But you know what? You get that in everything, right? Like you get people they're just dicks for the sake of being dicks. Like you go to you see like people like yelling at customer service people. You're like, chill out, buddy. Like you're not so I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation for a different time. It just irritates me when people are just they think they're the hot stuff because they're whatever job they have. It's like, shut up. We're all human. We all have different jobs. We all make different money. Nobody's better than anybody else. Shut up.
Except me and you.
Yeah, we are far worse than everyone else. Satan and his demon, I believe you called us earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have any you used to work at? You used to do customer service.
Yes, I did. I've done my fair share of customer service.
Yes. Do you have any wonderful sassy mom stories? Because where you worked, I don't know if you want to mention where you worked, but where you worked, there was full of sassy
I won't
ones.
say what place I worked and what place. Like I moved up decently in the company. A good company to work for. I won't say where, but much better than Tim Hortons.
Or Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Like their coffee, mwah. If the person made it right. But yeah, no, I love the job. Like most of the customers were awesome. You got a couple of like the dick style characters I was talking about, where they're like mean to other customers or mean to like your workers, and you're like, shut up, like get over yourself. But as far as the soccer mom stories, most of them, I don't know, like they would always hit on me, and that was creepy. Like
Cougars do love you.
I know, it's like it's a curse. They come in and they're like, "Hey, sweetheart, there's room in my minivan for more than just me." And I'm like, "No, there's not. No, ma'am, ma'am." But yeah, I had a couple. Like, I think my favorite insane person story, and you've heard this story before, but our listeners and our watchers haven't. I was working, and this is when I like first started there. I was like brand new, and someone came through the drive-thru and ordered a drink, and they were handed the wrong drink. And I wasn't working drive-thru, I was working the front of the store. And they come back maybe 5 minutes later, and they're livid. Like, they're just so angry.
Yeah.
And
Probably rightfully so.
I mean, I understand when you're like, you're getting your drink and you're like, okay, this is the wrong thing. I'm like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I just burped. I'm terribly sorry, but like, we'll get you your right drink. We'll make it the biggest thing ever. I think my manager gave them like a recovery card for $5. The drinks they ordered were maybe, $6 between the two of them. They drank both of those drinks, got the biggest drinks of the drink that they were originally getting, plus, an extra $5 for next time they came back. Mm-hmm. The person was still livid. They're like, no, we already got that. That's not enough, whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what would you like me to do? And she looks at me dead in the eye and says, I want $20. I was shocked. I didn't know how to respond. I was like, sorry, you want me to give you $20 cash? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I drove all the way from here to the highway. Just for perspective's sake, the highway is maybe a 2-minute drive. It's like not even a full kilometer away. You've got like one light between there and the ramp that she had made it to before realizing it was wrong. So I'm like, she's like, I want $20 gas money. I'm like, first off, maybe like 15 cents worth of gas. And like, by the time it spent 2.5 minutes driving there, 2.5 back, and so 5 minutes since you were here. But I'm like, I can't just open up my till and give you $20. I'm like, I don't know. It just confused me. I was lost. There was a lot of other people that were. Oh, your cat's going wild over there.
Look at her climb that thing.
Yeah, let me just get.
Yeah, you're gonna. Oh no!
Yeah.
Now
she's
biting my foot.
yeah, but there was a lot of interesting characters, we'll say, that would come through.
I met an interesting character last week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Please tell.
Endgame. I'm in line.
Yeah.
Me and Ange, my wife, had. You know what, Gigi?
Time out.
What are you even jumping on?
She's adorable.
Bad girl.
This is where we pause the episode momentarily. Oh, perfect. You're back. Wow, that's a brief pause. I wonder how loud your footsteps are on this.
We'll see.
Probably pretty loud.
So welcome back. I'm at Endgame with my wife, and we get there really, really early because I'm like very adamant when I go to movies. It's like I want to be there 30 minutes early, get my popcorn, get comfy.
Yeah.
I'm very particular. So I'm in line, waiting forever, getting popcorn, and there's this huge group of what I'm guessing is high school students, just by the way they look and walk around.
Right.
Very stupid. You know, when you just see a stupid person walking, you're like, that person's stupid. Yeah. There's like 50 of them. So then there's a big rustle and bustle going on, and I'm like, oh, these kids must be like dancing or something, like having a dance off. But no, there's a big fight that breaks out. Not a fight. Not like a fight that me and you would fight like. You know, when
we fight differently.
You know, when you punch, you go through and you lean through like you're trying to break someone's face.
I thought you meant like a fight like me and you were having like a disagreement about something.
No.
I was like, that's how we would fight. But not even that.
I highly disagree with that.
I love you more than you love me. No, you don't. I love you. I say, shut up.
Anyways, so these kids are pushing each other back and forth. And there's this one kid that...
Oh, like a push fight.
Like a push fight. And there's this one kid, one of the friends of the two people that were fighting, comes up behind this kid and swings at him from behind and hits him right here in the side of the face.
He hooks him in the back of the head?
Like sucker punched him. Like really, really dirty punch. So then the manager comes, kicks him out. And you should have seen how this kid was punching. It was kind of like this. It looked really, really funny.
With like the front of his hand.
So I was laughing because I know the kid wasn't hurt, because nobody could hurt somebody with a punch like that.
Oh, just for sake of you not looking like you're just some guy talking out his butt, you did, which martial art was it you did for?
I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
So you did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for
8 years.
For 8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So just so people aren't like, oh, look at this adult talking bad about kids who is like, maybe he punches like that himself. I just want to clarify that you do have some background in it.
Yes, a background in fighting. Anyways, so the manager settles it, kicks the kids out. The one kid could stay in who was getting ganged up on. And I was like, oh, I'm glad that kid could stay in. Anyways, This kid, biggest douche in the world. I'm just about to get my popcorn as I've been waiting in line for 15 minutes, and this kid cuts right in front of me, looks at and Shane, I got my Crocs on that day. I have my Crocs on that day.
You were straight up dad mode.
This kid's like talking to the lady giving us our popcorn and the drinks, and he's like, give me a popcorn and a drink. And she's like, excuse me, you can go to the back of the line and wait. And he's like, I just got effing punched in the face. You're not going to give me free popcorn and drinks? And I told you.
Was she like, was it a worker that punched you in the face or some of your friends? Like, I'm sorry, we didn't
So
hire
at
those
this
kids.
point, my feet are sweating in my Crocs. So I'm ready to take my Crocs off, place them beside me, and say, step in my dojo, son. And the look that I gave him, I puffed up my chest a little bit, looked at him, it goes right to the back of the line.
That's hilarious. Oh, man.
You don't want to mess with me. Not during
When
Endgame.
the man takes his Crocs off, you know it means, like,
No.
that man means business. No. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
And
hilarious.
like, not
So what
during
you're saying
Endgame.
is he deserved it.
Probably. Not to get sucker punched.
It's just some grown men talking about how some high school kid deserved to get beat up. What have our lives come to?
I don't know.
They're great. That's why.
Yeah, I love it.
Endgame was good. I loved Endgame.
It was.
Like this is a spoiler-free podcast. Don't worry, we won't talk about how, I don't know, Loki was disguised as Stormbreaker the whole time. Like, there's something stupid.
No, I think that's
He wasn't.
Megatron.
Oh yeah, Megatron was in it.
Yeah, my mom and my dad just saw it. I was like, what'd you think? Because I told him it was like, out of all the Marvel movies that
Right.
came out, definitely top 3 for me.
Right.
Probably number 1. I don't know. But he's like, I don't know. Out of all the movies I've ever seen in my life, it wouldn't be like top 5. I don't know if it'd make top 10 or anything like that. I just didn't know if I liked it. And then I started like explaining it to him. He's like, you're making a lot of sense. Like all these callbacks and all these payoffs, and it's like the climax of a 22 movie experience, right?
It's the final chapter in a 22 movie saga. Like you have
it's
to like
nuts.
Yeah.
Only TV shows would do something like that, right?
Oh, for
that
sure.
ambitious. That tell the same story anyways. Because
Right.
I don't know how many movies James Bond has done, but it doesn't tell the same
They're
story.
not like the movies are independent pillars. They're just one long story from start to finish, which is super cool.
Yeah, so I explained that to him and gave him like a hard pitch because we talked about it for like an hour. Where it's like, Dad, you're wrong. You're wrong, Dad.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Something very exciting. 2 exciting things are happening today.
Today's a very busy day for
Actually,
us.
3 things. I get to be with you all day.
Yeah, we're hanging out all day.
One of my best friends and other people I know are opening their business called Easy Mode.
Yeah.
Here in Windsor.
And we actually got to check it out a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, like a beta test almost.
Yeah, it's like a gaming lounge.
Yeah, almost like a esports lounge, except obviously not on the professional level. That's why it's called Easy Mode. Yet.
Like they do have ambitions to pull in more
sure.
professional players, but it's super cool. They got like all these high-end computers. They got all the consoles, and you can go in and rent space and hang out and play video games with friends.
Yeah, it's so cool because they have like one side that's more relaxing gaming. They have like 6 PCs set up there and some Switches, some Xboxes, some PS4s. But on the other side, and they're like VIP lounge or whatever they call it, they have 12 PCs where you can set up like 6v6 tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that way you can get all like the real life rage of League of Legends, having 2 teams go head to head in some sort of tournament, but you can like actually yell at each other in person.
Yeah, me and Brett were actually thinking of like using that area to set up a Clash Royale tournament because me and him love that game.
Yeah,
we play a lot of
I'm
it.
terrible at it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm just awful at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting because it's an ambitious project for our city. Again, we're not like a big metropolis city, but it's cool seeing friends of ours follow their dreams and their passions and be like, I want to make this business, and then actually pursue it and do it.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to just being like, yeah, you know what, we can just work whatever hourly job and have our lives run that way. It's cool to see them actually following through on this.
Yeah, and I love that when people, they have dreams and they pursue their dreams, but they act on those dreams.
Yeah, it's not just like a thought that they're like, oh, this would be cool, and then they think about it and they don't ever put time or work into it. Is a very different thing from, say, somebody who has an idea and a dream and they're like, I'm going to act on it. I'm going to do everything in my power to make this possible. and just pursue
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's
Yeah.
so cool.
That's why I like working with you.
Oh, thanks, man.
So we got a lot of people in our lives who do amazing things, obviously. But then, when somebody has an idea and they don't act upon it, it's just wasted potential.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's just, I like people who put forth that effort in that work.
That's kind of been like my philosophy with YouTube all along. Is it's been like, I know I'm not going to make the greatest thing or have a carved out niche or have like all these well-refined ideas, but I'm not just going to sit there and think about it. It's like, shut up. Today I'm going to go make a video and just hammer it out, film it, edit it, do it all in a day because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I want to see something go from not being created to being created. Like, even if it's only like 10% of what it could be if I invested like way more time into it. I don't want a polished turd sitting on a shelf as opposed to like a normal turd that's not polished, like out for people to see it. Well, your cat is loud.
Yeah,
she's getting angry.
She smacks the trim.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to see polished turds, check out MyTurn.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of
It's crap, but it's shiny.
It's polished. It's well polished. Yeah. Yeah, we have another friend. Is she doing more
Time out
again? So you can just look back there, and we just hear on the wall. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone here, but this is what we hear.
I'll shut the closet this time so she can't.
Your cat's just knocking on the door, like, "Hey, let me out, Dad."
Yes, hello.
And we have another friend who's actually got a launch party today. Like we said,
Yeah.
there was 3 big things. One is the first podcast,
Yep.
and then we're hanging out all day, gonna get some food. That's like a joint love of ours is food.
Pause real quick.
Yes,
Freaking love you, dude.
love you too. Oh, we're Nathan's spirit animal is me,
Yes.
and my spirit human is Nathan, and we share a spirit food pizza,
Meat lovers pizza.
meat lovers pizza.
And the funny thing, quick aside here, is
Yeah.
me and Shane have known each other for a while now, but I can't for the life of me date back the origin of it.
I have no idea when
Because
we
I
first
know
met.
it wasn't when I was 10 or 12 or whatever.
That'd be weird.
But like it's, I just remember like you've always been there.
I've just always
It's like,
been.
hey, that's Shane.
Yeah, and I have actually the same thing with you. I'm like, I don't remember exactly when we met.
No.
We didn't start hanging out like consistently until
About
we were
4
older.
years ago, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah, and then we knew each other a little bit more before
yeah.
then. But it's like, how have I always known him? Like it's just like it's one of those like mysteries of life.
Yeah.
I
So we
don't know.
figured it's just a spirit.
We just figured
animal,
it's a spirit
human.
connection. Like some people have like a spirit wolf. You have a spirit Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wear a little totem of Shane around my neck wherever I go.
I don't know if that's healthy, but that's okay.
I'm still alive.
So
it's not too bad.
our third event
Yes.
is another friend of ours has been working on developing a card game.
Yeah.
And this has been a passion of his for a while, is to develop a game of some kind and, try to put it together and market it and build it up himself.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Well, him and his wife.
Him and his wife and another,
Sarah, very talented.
and another friend of ours.
graphic
Yeah,
artist.
I gotta remember that it's all of them, and they've put in
For sure,
a ton
yeah.
of work.
Yeah.
It's just easier to when you're talking to say one person.
Oh yeah. The collective group. Are we allowed
Yeah.
we can say the name of the game, right?
Yeah, we can say the name.
It was called Eternal by Soapbox Games, but they had to switch it to The Heart of the Eternal or something like that.
Something
Heart
like
of
that.
the Eternal.
Yeah, they had for some reason they had to change the name of the game. But yeah, it's another one of those things where it's cool to see friends following their passion and not
Yeah.
just letting it sit there. Like I've had a lot of ideas for board games, but I've never made a board game.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing somebody actually have that vision and then make it happen is cool, and I'm excited to see how it does for them.
Yep. And that's cool because you look at what you're doing, you look at what I'm trying to do, you look at what other people are doing, and how we're all interwoven. Because me and you aren't just casual friends. Me, you, and Brian are just casual
committed
friends. We're very, very committed to each other physically.
This podcast just took a turn in a strange direction.
But anyway,
I'm starting to believe that Brett was right and the scene was real. The Game of Thrones
I'll
scene
never
from
say-
earlier in the
I'll
podcast.
never say anything. You'll never find it out. unless you're on set. In my dreams.
Oh, I was there.
What was I saying? But yeah, the things that we're pursuing and how we're all there to like motivate each other. It's been very wonderful. And like whenever I don't want to do something or I feel discouraged, a Shane video pops up on YouTube, and I look at it.
Makes you feel worse.
And I'm like, hey, he put that out. I can too. No,
yeah.
I love your
If
content.
he can make a video, anybody can. Look at that crap.
No.
Yeah,
You don't have crap.
We all have crap. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the cool thing about the people you surround yourselves with. Like, there's an old saying, I guess, about like you're the summation of the people you're closest with.
Yeah.
So if you look at like your 5 closest friends, you can see a lot of yourself in them.
For sure.
So it's cool to surround yourself with people that have similar ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean like don't be good friends with people who have different life goals, but I think
For sure.
that when pursuing your own goals, finding people who have similar goals and trying to pour into them as well
Yes.
to help them achieve their goals, it's like this incredible thing that helps everybody. One, you're helping them achieve their goals, which is fantastic because you've helped another person, you've helped another friend. 2, you learn a lot by teaching other people. You learn about yourself, but you also learn how to do things that
Yep.
you might not have known how to do, and it just creates this spider web of like life events, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I see it.
No, for sure. If you do desire to fulfill a dream, we'll just call it success. Good.
Yeah.
But I think success can sound shallow, but we'll
Yes.
just call it success,
Yeah.
okay? That to find success, you want to help make other people successful.
Right.
And even if you don't know what you're searching or what you're trying to accomplish, if you help people accomplish their dreams,
Right.
in turn, you're probably going to find out what your own dreams are and
For sure.
in turn have your dreams helped be
For sure.
accomplished.
Like when we
cool.
say success, it doesn't mean you have to be a millionaire.
No.
Like for me, personal success, if I was ever to be able to make doing stupid YouTube videos and hanging out with one of my best friends doing podcasts a career, and even just make, enough to survive, like whatever, make $35,000 a year so I can live out a life that would be similar to making over minimum wage here in Ontario.
Yeah.
I would consider myself vastly successful. Everything
Yeah.
above that is just icing, right? Because you're doing what you love and able to continue doing that and that be the source of your income.
Yes.
And that's more a mindset that I have. Like some people are more of the, like you go to work so you can, like a job you don't necessarily like, so you can afford to do the things you like. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, that just doesn't line up with the type of person that I am. I'm more of the, your work occupies so much of your time that you should be one with your work.
Yeah.
Whatever you do for a career, you should do because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think we hear like a lot of things like where people advise us to become things that we don't want to do. And it's like, well, why? Like, I understand there's like skeptics that are like, you can't make a living being a painter or being an actor or whatever it may be because they never fulfilled it in their own life. Well, maybe the city you're living in isn't conducive to that profession. But if everybody had the mindset, I can't be this thing, we would all just do the same job, or we would do the job that our parents felt was right for us. Mm-hmm. We're getting way too deep on this
Which is
podcast.
sad. It's okay. I like getting deep sometimes. Let's go back to shallow. So this other high schooler got punched in the face, right?
Yeah. But speaking of dreams, and to shift us to segue us out of this.
Nice.
Smooth. That's the smoothest segue we'll ever have here. It was terribly unsmooth. What dreams, not necessarily professionally, but say like adventurous dreams do you have, like skydiving or bungee jumping?
Oh yeah, I'm
flying a plane. Why are they all in the air for?
I don't know.
Suggestions?
You should probably go skydiving. You'd probably love it.
Oh yeah.
I've always told my dad, like, Dad, one day we're gonna go skydiving, and I'm terrified of heights. Like I flip and hate it. Like I won't go,
like when we did the ropes course.
Yeah, I can't stand it. And
we'll tell that story in a minute.
Yeah, we will. But as far as goals like that, I don't know. I'm a pretty cheesy guy. Like I love spending time with my wife. I love doing things with her. We went to Ireland for our honeymoon, and we we just drove and we climbed this top of a mountain, and on the mountain you just see like these valleys of lakes that are on top of mountains and like this crazy view. And to me, that moment was that was like a dream fulfilled almost. So me and Ange don't want to have kids for a really long time. So we're gonna, with our disposable income, we're gonna try and travel a little bit. Like
Right.
the next thing on our list is to go to Japan and see Japan.
So your dreams and goals are more like discovery, like as opposed to being like adrenaline fueled. They're more like seeing the world around you.
Yeah, definitely some of them. You're talking like dreams that aren't career related.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. We're talking like, because like, I mean, they can be like, for example, I would career related, since I want to do social media and podcasting and stuff. There's a lot of super cool people I would love to meet, like, you know, Smosh or Gus Johnson and
Oh,
all these
absolutely,
like
yeah.
Rhett and Link. Like, there's people I'd love to meet, and that could be more career style stuff, but also just because like I think they're super cool people and
Oh, for
that type
sure.
of stuff,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. As far as that goes, like Game Grumps, you know?
Oh, yeah.
the Game
You're throwing
Grumps.
it back to
Yeah, I'd rather meet them than meet I don't know, who's a big celebrity. Than Chris Hemsworth, let's say.
Yeah.
Because to me, and those people are more.
Now, do you
Like
think
me,
you
I
would,
don't know.
Do you think you'd like go all fangirl and be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to meet you"? Do you
I-
think that that's the type of person you'd be?
I would say no.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I'm a pretty shy person when
Okay.
I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
But I don't know, because there's this one time I got VIP tickets to see my favorite band, August Burns Red.
Right.
And I got to meet them. And in my head, I was like, they're just dudes. I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
Mind you, I was a little bit younger. But as soon as I got... Brett was actually with me at that concert. And as soon as it was my turn to meet them, their bassist was like, "Hey, thanks for coming, man. Like, where are you guys from?" And it was in the States, just
Yeah.
over the bridge there. And I was like,
You just locked up.
I was locked up. I was like, "Canada." He's like, "Oh, where in Canada?"
He's like, "What's this?"
I'm like, it's like 15 minutes away, just over
That's
the bridge.
hilarious.
Yeah. So I'd probably freeze up a little bit.
I think I'm kind of the opposite. Like I don't know. When I meet people, I don't really care about their title, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I've met a lot of interesting people in my life. And usually it's just like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, how's your life?" Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe it's because I don't care. Like, I mean, I do care, but I'm not like, a lot of things, like, I'll act more excited about things than I am because I think that it's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm also less invested in certain things, I suppose. Like, if I was to meet, say, Chris Hemsworth, who, like, I love Chris Hemsworth. He's hilarious. I'm pretty sure the conversation would be more like, "Hey, how's it going? Okay, cool. Like, sweet." And then I probably wouldn't have anything to say because I don't actually know him.
Yeah,
And I
right.
wouldn't want to creep him out. He'd be like, "All right, cool. Take care. See ya." Like, that type of thing.
Just sign this picture so I
so-
can sell it for money.
Yeah, like, and I know it could sound like I'm just like making this crap up, but it's when I was working at said place, I met some famous football player came in, like he was in the NFL
Oh,
or
it was
something.
Luke Wilson. He's from
Yeah,
this area.
yeah. He
but-
came into the store, and one of my coworkers, she was hilarious, but she's getting all like sweaty, and she's like, I'm gonna faint, you know, like, she's like, "Oh my goodness," and like, she's like, "He's so hot," and all this, and I'm like, "You want me to talk to him?" And she's like, no, yes, no. I'm like, "Well, I gotta talk to him because I gotta find out what he wants." And I'm not much of a sports person, so I don't know necessarily things about sports.
The who's who.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know who this person was. But aside from that, when she said NFL, I thought hockey. Like, my brain just interpreted hockey. So the guy comes up, and I'm like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" He's like, "Good." I'm like, take his order, whatever. We're just like making small chat about like weather and stuff. He was a nice guy. I was like, "You play hockey or something, right? Like, we play hockey?" He's like, like, when I was younger, I was like, maybe that's where I know you from. Like, you know, like maybe from like, I never played hockey, but I was like, I don't know. So I was like, sick, cool. And we just talked for a little bit, you know, just small talk. Like, he was a nice guy. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I talked to him. I was like, he seemed a little bit confused when I mentioned hockey. And she's like, "Football. He's a football player." I'm like, cool. Like,
Whatever.
Yeah.
See you later, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I think It's a maturity thing too, because I was a little bit younger when that happened.
Fair
so
enough.
I haven't met anybody famous since then.
Yeah.
So I like to think if I did,
You'd
I'd
be
be
a
a
little
little
more
bit
cool.
more relaxed, because
Yeah.
they're just people.
I mean, unless you want to test our theory and you're a really famous person and want us to meet you so you can call us out on lying. But
Come on the
if you're
podcast.
a really famous person, come slide into my DMs. Is that what the kids
Slide
say
into
these
this
days?
chair.
Yeah, come over here, sit down, and we'll see if we fangirl over you.
We'll get you Tim Hortons coffee.
Yeah, it'll just take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned heights and having a little bit of a fear of heights.
Oh yeah.
And we
Terrifying.
differ ever so slightly on this topic. So
Ever so slight.
I find I tone myself down a lot in the way that I present myself in videos and podcasts and stuff. I'm a very extroverted, out of my mind, insane person. Like,
Yeah.
if I see eyeballs on me, like actual people, as opposed to like a screen, I up my game because I think it's hilarious to just be over the top.
You're a performer.
Thank you. So I've never had a fear of heights. Like, I would grow up, I would like climb the neighbor's house. Like, I could literally fit my fingers in between the mortar on the bricks and I would climb it.
You don't have to be humble. I don't think you fear anything.
Oh, thank you. Commitment.
Yeah, just commitment. That's
Just
true.
commitment. I'm piecing out.
And
real
cougars.
quick. Oh, cougars are
Commitment to
terrifying. Yeah,
commitment
that's-
to cougars.
Oh gosh,
Terrifying.
that's I would just die instantly.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yes. So we went. I have no fear of heights, and a lot of our close group of friends have fear of heights. I think a lot of people have a fear of heights.
Yeah.
But we're going to this. It's like an outdoor ropes course. It's like this mountain, not a mountain, but like a giant foresty hill thing, and they've got all these ropes and like bridges and all these like obstacles that you try to basically cross and get through in the sky.
Yeah, big ropes course. Treetop ropes course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have these like harnesses. Like, you clip one in, and then in order to unclip the one from like your safety line, you have to clip the other one in, and then you can take it off. So we're maybe like 50 feet up off the ground on these like platforms, maybe like 2 feet by 2 feet.
What was the highest? Like 70 to 80 feet, I think.
Something
right?
like that.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
For me, it was nuts.
Yeah. For me, I'm just running across things, like laughing, jumping, trying to scare you guys.
Yeah, Shane's like, Nathan, stick with me. We're going to do this together. I'll get you through it. The very first obstacle is this.
I'm a terrible friend.
He is. It's this wacky bridge that you got to like balance on, and like they encourage you not to grab onto the line above, right? Because that'd be cheating. And Shane's like, looks difficult. Sprints across the bridge, the highest knees I've ever seen. And then, like, through the course, I'd be on something like rickety, and he'd be like shaking it off.
I had to try to make you fall.
Yeah, but the worst part is we were so high up, and we were with our friend Ryan, and Shane's like, hey, look what I figured out how to do. And both of his clips were off of the line. So if he falls, he's dead. And Ryan's like, Shane Anthony Morris, and I'm like, Shane, I feel so sick. You got to put that back on. Like, you're going to make me throw up. I'm like, put it back on.
As soon as I found out that this irritated you guys, every moment, whenever we were high up on like a little tiny platform, I did a couple obstacles without it. I would have got kicked out of the place.
Yeah, 100%.
Every time I could, I would unclip both of them and be like, guys, look, no harness. And they would start freaking out. Please don't do this.
No.
I'm a terrible role model if you're basing your life off of the crap I do. We got issues.
Kid's just like, I want to be just like him.
And their mother's like, please don't.
Suspense builds up dramatically. You climb to the peak of the hill, and William Shatner's up there, Captain's log.
I got no idea what you're doing right
Me
now.
neither. Yeah, so I think our last topic for the day, or like our last dish topic, is just going to be talking about games.
Yeah.
Board games, video games, what we do.
That's something that we both love. Like,
Passionately, I'd say.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
when I started off on YouTube, I was doing Let's Plays because that's what I saw a lot of people doing. And I'm like, I love video games. I can put my face in a corner.
Yeah.
And it pushed, my favorite thing about it was it pushed me to play games that I wouldn't normally play. Like, I play a lot of League of Legends. It's like my go-to game. But this pushed me to discover games like Cuphead or...
Which you got insanely
the
good at,
Stanley
right?
Parable. Yeah, I beat a level using my face with Cuphead. I took a controller and I pushed it into my face. I wish it was fake because it's such a stupid accomplishment. But I was like, I'm gonna beat Botanic Panic using my face. which was a lot of fun.
I'm impressed.
And then I
was
played
impressed.
one of my favorite games that I played that I think the game was just so good it's called the Stanley Parable. And it's cool because everything you do and how you do it changes the outcome of the game. Okay. You have like a narrator who you don't know if you trust. The game gets real weird and real cool. And it's just, if you've never played the Stanley Parable, I highly recommend you try the Stanley Parable. It's so much fun. And I was thankful for that. So video games are a passion of ours. You're currently Resident Evil. Is that what you're working on right now?
Sorry, with MyTurn or personally?
Both.
Oh, I've been all over the board. I've been playing Sekiro.
Okay, we're both Dark Souls fans.
Huge Dark Souls is my favorite. From Software is my favorite developer.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 is my favorite game, and I don't know if Sekiro is going to be like higher on my list than
It's
Dark
right
Souls
up there,
3,
though.
but it is up there. Been playing that, some Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
I just love immersing myself in these like worlds, and I don't know. You know when you see something, it gives you like goose pimples, and you get all like, "Ooh, this is really cool."
I got shivers off that.
Like the first time you play like Breath of the Wild, and you exit the cave, and you see how like massive it is.
I've actually only played like very loosely like 5 minutes of Breath of the Wild on Ryan's.
Yeah, 'cause
I
you
don't
don't
have a
Switch, right?
Switch.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry you can't relate to that.
I know that it just breaks my heart. I'm like, I know I'm missing out so much on such an awesome looking game. But
Other than that, I'm just kind of waiting for Borderlands 3 to get here.
Borderlands 3, I think we're both going to play the crap out of that.
Oh yeah,
The first Borderlands game.
Me, Caleb, my brother, and Brett, the guy who's with us in MyTurn, and my other buddy Matt, who's opening up easy mode. That same guy. We do like LAN parties, and when Borderlands 3 comes out, I'm like, all right, you guys are gonna sleep over at my house. We'll set up 4 TVs, and we'll just play, and we'll beat the game.
And we're adults now, so we don't have to ask for permission.
Yeah, Mom, take that.
Yeah, it's my house.
Yeah, I'm never coming back home. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, video games are very big.
Yeah, but not just
big part of
not just video games, but like tabletop games are another thing that
which I prefer more to than video games.
Same here.
100%.
And actually, years ago when we started hanging out more consistently, our friend group almost exclusively that was like our go-to thing. We would either go get food as like a group of friends. We had like a group of like 30 people that would consistently hang out.
It was crazy.
So like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, I was so broke.
3 to 4 times a week, we would have a group of 30 people all crash Ryan's house, or we'd all go get food. Board games. We played so many board games. Like we played everything.
Our friend Ryan is addicted to buying them.
I don't even want to know how many thousands of dollars he has invested.
It's crazy, but it benefits us.
I know.
Love playing them.
I would always just plant like a little seed, be like, "Hey, this game looks kind of cool," and he'd be like, "I bought it." I'd be like, "Perfect,
let's try it.
Let's try it." The game of yours.
Yeah. So naturally, as time went on, our group kind of dwindled down. You know, people find those other people that they really get along with, and now we have a group of like 6-7 guys that
it rotates a little bit.
That hang out a little bit more corely as far as when we get together and play these board games or
as we get older and our lives develop.
Yes.
But board games are definitely like they're so much fun because you're sitting across from your friends telling jokes and like I think when a lot of people think board games they're like Monopoly or Risk, right? Or Story or Trouble or whatever, and
maybe
you're like
what peasants play.
You're like, oh, you roll dice and you go around a board. But when you like start looking into it and start getting into like these more in-depth board games, there's board games for everyone. There's like skill-based board games where you're like trying to flick things.
Flick them up right there.
It's and
wonderful
that's
game.
So much fun. But there's also the like story, like engulf yourself games like Eldritch Horror, which is so cool. Where it's like no matter what your interest and personality for your group of friends, there's something there. There's something that you guys can play that's just super cool.
Yeah, it's so social too, right? It's a little bit. I mean, you can play video games and talk to friends, but if you get a good tabletop game and find a group of people that want to play it, it's such a good social outing, and
one of the
awesome.
The things that is like kind of an unexpected little thing that's like actually makes it so much better is when you're playing video games, you're like very much tied to your controller, but when you're doing tabletop games, we're often like stuffing our face with munchies. We got like taquitos or even just like to drink a coffee while playing a video game is difficult because like especially if it's a more like I can't be drinking a coffee while playing Overwatch or League of Legends or Apex or whatever we're playing. But if we're doing a tabletop game, I don't think there's ever been a time where I don't have a coffee in my hand. I have a severe addiction.
Severe. So we recently, like a bunch of guys, my brother and me and Shane, I had talked about doing like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, like a year ago or something like that.
Yeah, I'd never played Dungeons and Dragons ever. It was one that it just wasn't something on my radar until your brother actually brought it up.
Yeah, and then we finally, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, we're finally like, okay, we're doing it. Caleb's like, I wrote a campaign, get your characters into me, and we're gonna do it. We do it at my house because, like, no, it's a
He's
good.
got a nice house. You got a nice.
Got a good
setup
house for it. Yeah, a nice setup for it. So we all get together, and I don't know exactly what to expect. Like I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like Critical Role. I would listen and watch them play. So I didn't know how I was gonna respond to it, but we made our characters and we fully like submerse ourselves into these characters. And I've never laughed so hard playing something. I've never had so much fun.
The situations that we create. So I think one thing we need to mention is the way that we built our characters. So there's a very differing approach in how some of us built our characters from each other. So 3 of our friends, the other 3 guys that play, all built very serious characters. They built like, my guy's an archer, my guy's a cleric, my guy's a warrior. Right?
Yeah.
And they were more serious in their initial approach to building their character.
Which is fine.
And then you and I...
think too alike.
We're a couple of goons where my questions are like, how insane can I make my character? Like, I don't care if he's powerful, but he has to just be so absurd that, like,
a wizard named Jeff.
Yeah, he's a wizard named Jeff, and his whole goal in life is to just screw with the rest of the party by using illusions to like turn their weapons into like phallic objects and stuff. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say on the podcast, but like to like just so they're just beating like an orc with like a giant dong. That's what my character lives for. And then your character is like, I would say the funniest thing I've ever seen or heard. Like the lines you come up with and the crap you do is Tony Morgan.
Tony Morgan the Bard.
Yeah.
Doesn't sing, he does slam poetry, but he can't pronounce his R's or L's. Not to make fun of anyone with a speech impediment, but...
That's just your character.
That's Tony Morgan's character. No, he can't say his R's or his L's too well.
And he's got like a Brooklyn accent,
yeah,
too.
He's kind of got a Brooklyn accent, likes to smoke, he's only 16 or whatever.
Hates people shorter than him.
Hates people shorter, but he's only like 4'3".
And there's a dwarf in our party.
Yeah. I like Ryan's character's name Sire or Seer?
Sire.
Is it Sire?
But you call him Sir.
I call him Sir, because I can't say his name
So then
right.
we all started calling him Sir.
Sir. So D&D's been like one of the funnest experiences I've had as far as playing games go.
Because I think it's one of those games I think is very much how you make it. Like, for example, you could have a group of friends and nobody could invest anything in it and nobody could really get into their characters.
And it'd be so boring.
And it'd be
so
boring,
lame,
right? It'd be like,
right?
oh, I min-maxed my character stats,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And they'd be like, this is kind of stale. But your brother's a great dungeon master. Like,
He paints a beautiful picture. Yeah.
Funniest situations, and his characters that he creates are funny. And then our characters are all just... I think we've really pushed everybody to be more exaggerated in their characters.
Yeah.
And it creates, like, just the way that things happen, too, creates for some really funny situations. Like, my character, for some reason, I, as a human being, can only roll 20s and 1s. It's the only number on the dice I can hit, and so consistently that it's kind of freakish. Like, I rolled 4 1s in a row.
Yeah, it was... what are the odds on that? You say one in...
It's 1 over 20 times 20 times 20 times 20. It's like... that would be... What would that be? That'd be...
I failed math multiple times.
Be 400... 8,000... 1 in 160,000?
Like the odds of that
For just the 4 1s.
Yeah.
And then, so I was trying to do an illusion. I screwed it up terribly. I can't remember what happened, but somebody else got hurt because of it. Then I tried to cast, I think, fireball 3 times in a row.
It's the fireball you hit.
The fireball. Yeah, so
and poor Tony Morgan.
I know. I was trying to cast a fireball on these creatures we were fighting, and I rolled 3 1s in a row. So every time I did, Caleb, our dungeon master, was like, he's like, all right, the fireball split up into 2 and hit your 2 teammates. So every time I'd be like, I want to cast a fireball, everybody freaks out now. And Caleb made a point to be like, oh, he's got accuracy. Do you have accuracy problems? I'm like, oh yeah, I do.
I just love the 3rd time you did it. He's like,
he
broke. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Somebody dies. And then the funny thing is immediately after that, I rolled 2 20s in a row.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I'm gonna cast fireball. Everybody's like, please don't try fireball. I'm like, I gotta try it. They're like, I almost killed Ryan. He went down to 1 health.
He did, and that's the only attack you've ever done, I think, so far is fireball, right?
I never use any other attacks. I just use fireball. So
just wait till level 2 though.
It's bigger fireball. Jeff only uses fireballs and bigger. He's all about the fireballs.
Yeah.
So then I roll a 20, and it's like, you annihilate something. Like, you just like, it's like, I can't remember what he said, but it's like, it's so common for me to roll either a 1 or a 20 and nothing in between, and I don't know why. But it's just one of those things that gets written into, like, the lore of our story now.
Story, yeah.
Which makes it hilarious, because it's like those little things that you can't control become very much a part of the story.
For sure, yeah. And my wife's a talented artist, very talented.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
She
painter,
yes,
and drawer,
and somebody invested into her to like do like Adobe like animations and Photoshops and stuff like that. So I was gonna get her to make our characters in this is like Animator or Photoshop.
Oh,
or
I didn't even know
that.
this.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get her to do it.
Okay.
Because she needs to practice with it, right? Because somebody invested into her so she could work.
So we may as well use it for our benefit.
Yeah. So that's what I said. I'm like, babe, I'm gonna use you. So if I can get all 5 of our characters made with like a little quote on it. Yeah.
We'll put him here
while we play.
We'll get like her to do like an animation, and we'll voice it.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
She is. When you say she's a talented artist, you're under exaggerating. Like. She's excessive. Good. She is. She's painted. She painted the one set for one of the plays I was in, like by herself, and like it was incredible.
She's designed all my tattoos.
She does. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's actually.
And she didn't go to school for it.
No, she just worked hard at it. My tattoo artist, Angie doesn't do the tattoos. She just designed them for me. And I messaged my tattoo artist, who I've gotten close with over the years. And
yeah, because you got a couple of them.
Yeah, I got a few.
You spent a few grand at that guy.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I was like, hey man, Angie's expressed interest in starting to do tattoos. Like, can you point me in the right direction for equipment and stuff like that?
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah,
that's super
this
cool.
was just like last week, and he messaged me back. He's like, man, honestly, you guys are some of my favorite people. I'm going to have you. Why don't you? And Angie is getting in the process of getting a sleeve done by him right now. And she's very lovable, so people naturally just like her a lot.
It's impossible to hate that.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't hate Angie.
Yeah.
She just.
Too sweet.
She's kind of like you in that way. Like, nobody can hate Nathan and nobody can hate Angie. They're just like the nicest. Like, I get when people hate me because I'm like I'm in your face. Shut up. And like I say offensive things accidentally a lot.
Yeah.
But you guys are just like 2 of the most lovable people ever.
Aw, thanks, Shane. Anyways, and he messaged me. He's like, yeah, you guys are some of my favorite people. Instead of buying equipment, I'm going to have you and Angie over one night, and I'm going to let her use my gun and like
that's so cool.
Practice on bananas and orange peels, because that's what takes the most like skin.
Wow.
And then he's like, make sure you bring your husband. Or then he told me, make sure you come. And then I was like, okay, sure, like maybe just to watch Angie do it or encourage her or support her or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he told Angie, it's like, your husband's coming, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, good, because you're going to need somebody to tattoo.
Oh.
And me, I'm a very particular person. Like, if something's not...
For something that's going to last forever, especially. Right?
Yeah, but even in, like you look at my bookshelf, right? Like, I don't want to say it's, like, OCD, but it's very, like, I'm very particular in how things have to be.
I've never seen a bookshelf before.
So to be Angie's...
or books.
So to be Angie's first, like, experiment on a tattoo, I don't know how comfortable I'm.
You're getting the cold sweats.
I am getting the cold sweats.
Yeah.
You could feel them.
Maybe.
So I told...
Actually, yeah, I do want to feel them. Yeah, those are the cold sweats.
So I told Brett and Kayla, my brother, I'm like, Angie's gonna start doing tattoos, and right away they're like, she can do my legs. Like, just do it up. I don't care. Do my legs. I'm like, yeah, perfect. Practice on them. And then I'll get when you're good, I'll come to you.
Yeah, and then once because I'm the same way. Like, I don't have any tattoos. For me, it's not like I love tattoos. I would love to just like get sleeves done, like probably like at least a colorful half sleeve or something. But I also want to pursue more acting stuff, so I'm like, I don't know how much I can get done. Like,
It's easier if you don't have any, right?
right?
Depending on the role you want to be thrown into.
So. Like, I mean, I don't think it's detrimental in any way, but I do think it makes it a little bit easier by not.
For sure.
Unless you're trying to get roles where you're like specifically somebody who would have tattoos.
I mean, it does break the submersion of it, because you see The Rock, not to knock any of his movies, but he is himself in those movies.
For
right?
sure.
And you see his tattoos because
Right.
he's like, I'm not trying to be anybody, I'm myself.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's harder as somebody more starting out.
Yeah.
It reduces your potential, like not your potential, but it reduces the roles that you could just get.
For sure.
I think. I could be completely off on this. I got no idea. But
No, what you're saying makes sense.
That's
to me.
my hunch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if YouTube and whatever, if the podcast and whatever like takes off and I'm able to do stuff with that career-wise, I'll end up with tattoos. But I say that because I think I'm very similar to you. Like, if somebody's putting something on my body that's permanent,
Yeah.
like, it better be cool.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I don't want no smiley face crap there, you know?
No.
Like,
And my brother's so opposite, Caleb.
oh, he doesn't care.
You've seen the pink blob he has on his thigh?
I haven't.
No, ask him to see it next time.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's more just like, he's like, whatever.
It's a free spirit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So we're kind of running down on time now. Like we said earlier, it's kind of a busy day for us. So I think we're gonna have to wrap up Toast or something like that.
Yeah,
Toast or whatever.
Toast or whatever. We'll find a name for it eventually.
Toast or whatever. We'll stick with that.
I like it.
Yeah. It's like we're just trying to figure it out. Like, what's this podcast called? Toast or whatever. I don't know.
So until next time, I'm Nathan.
I'm Shane. Love you lots. See you in the next one. Bye for now.